What's up, guys? This is the spoiler review for The Last Jedi Star Wars. Oh my god, guys, I can't even begin to tell you how amazing this was. Before I start, for those of you who don't know, this is comic book artist, writer, and director Greg Weick from BeyondComics.tv. Stay tuned to the end of the video because we're running a special contest where you can be drawn as a character in my new comic book if you go to BeyondComics.tv. But first, the spoiler review of this. Yes, redemption! Oh my god, guys, bring a tissue box. I was a mess. I was tearing up constantly. I was so emotional. I mean, I can't, again, this is super spoiler alert, so don't watch this unless you're prepared for the spoilers, but I want to hear all your feedback and comments. First of all, when they showed Leia, when she says, "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope," when Luke reunites with R2-D2. Oh my god, I teared up because that was one of my first memories, guys. I was 2.5 years old, and I remember being in the theater with both my parents watching the actual title, boom, Star Wars, and everyone cheering. I remember the commercials on television. I remember when I had my little land speeder and I couldn't get the figures yet, so I had little micronauts that fit into the land speeder from a totally different series. It was amazing, guys, and I can't tell you the emotions and the impact that I felt in this movie, even when they reunited Luke again with Yoda, and it was so awesome that they used an actual animatronic puppet and then use special effects to integrate it with that kind of Force ghost effect, and versus just doing CGI. So I like that Rian Johnson actually decided to use practical effects. Yoda looked a little bit kind of, a little bit like too chiseled or dark or whatever, but it was okay, it was fine. It still was great, and it looked just like Yoda, which was wonderful. So I was absolutely flipping out, and I had trouble with The Force Awakens, actually. So I didn't like the way they had kind of put that in place as much as I wanted to. As where with this movie, The Last Jedi, I think it's an amazing movie. It's actually really good, and they come up with the most creative, exciting ideas, including like when Rey, like you didn't know moment to moment what was going to happen next. I actually could not predict the direction that they were going. So my mind is like going like this, and I'm like drenching wet from sweat. I just saw it, and I was like, is he good? Is he bad? What's he gonna do? Is Luke coming in? Is Rey gonna join him or him join her? And I'm like a mess. I'm on this roller coaster ride, and I haven't seen them do that in a movie for a really long time. And actually, I think back to like when I saw Speed with Keanu Reeves. No way, you know, and like how crazy that movie was for that time, and very simplistic compared to the elaborate, you know, things that they pulled off in this film. But what a freaking cool idea when they have, you know, Rey and Kylo fighting each other, and how does he kill Snoke? Bang! He just like has that double lightsaber where he summons his, and then he boom has Luke's saber or Anakin's saber go right into Snoke and off him in half. Pow! Amazing! I would have liked to learn more about Snoke and his history and how he came to power and things, but incredible. Also, like when they hyperdrive the ship and Laura Dern is in there, I wonder, did she survive, guys? Post your comments below. Do you think Laura Dern survived the hyperdrive when she, pow, smashed right through the ship and tore it in half? Really curious to hear your thoughts on that. And also, I'm having conflicts here. At the very end of the movie, when the little boy comes out and he's sweeping, and he holds the saber and they end the film, right? Or the broom as a saber. Did he force summon the broom? Somebody said they thought he did. I wasn't sure. I didn't notice that. So let me know if he did or not, guys. I'm very curious to hear your take. But moving back to more spoilers in this whole incredible movie, the fight sequence with Luke, and when he does like that Matrix bend back and he's like fighting and doing his whole thing, and he just sits there like ever so fucking badass, pardon my language, but damn was he cool. I waited so long to see him come back, you know? And I remember I was with Mark Hamill signing my comic book at the Javits Center in New York, at the New York Comic Con, and he was right next to me and he got my comic, and there's a picture, which I'll have to post in the link or something so you guys can see it. I couldn't believe that freaking Luke Skywalker's got my comic, and I met him for the first time when I was 8.5 years old, after I saw Jedi, way back in the 80s, and he was in disguise at a comic book convention, the Creations comic book convention with Adam Milam, and I remember I'm standing there in my little Wolverine costume that I had made from the comics, and I see this dude with like, you know, this hat, little beret, kind of pulled down, leather jacket, and I look, I said, "Oh, are you Luke Skywalker?" And he's like, "Shh. And I was like, oh my God, and my dad, I ran, I like, wait here, please. I get my dad, I pull him back, and we have the old little 8mm film, and we have this old home footage of me 8 years old with Mark Hamill waving to the camera. And he's like, is this a picture? He's like, no, it's film. He's like, we should move then, you know? And he was so funny and cool. But he loved comic book conventions, and he wasn't actually even featured there. He just went in disguise. So that was awesome. And then the other thing was David Prowse, who played the original Darth Vader. When I was 6 years old, my dad brought me to meet him at a toy convention that they had at a museum. And I told him, when I grow up, I'm gonna put you in my comic book, because he was really upset that they didn't show his real face in Jedi. They replaced him with the other amazing actor, but they didn't show his actual face. So I said, I'll put you in my comic book and some movie one day, and I'll show your face. He said, okay, that's nice, little boy. And then years later, I met him at a comic book convention, and I was like, hi, I don't know if you remember me from 20 plus years ago, but you know, I'm doing comic books now and creating this stuff, and I want you to be, and he's like, I'm sorry, no, I'm not doing any films, I'm not doing anything like that. And there's a whole line of people at the Big Apple Creation Convention. Oh my God, it was so funny. So I grab all my artwork and I fling it on the table. And I was like, so he looks at it, he's like, what's this? So I was like, those are my superhero guys. He's like, would I be the lead bad guy? I was like, yes. So I turned him into my superhero character, Sunder. He flew in from England. We won the New York International Independent Film and Video Festival, featuring him as Sunder, the supervillain, in the live action shoot that I did called Ravedactyl, the comic book I'm working on right now, which you can see a preview of at beyondcomics.tv, and he plays Sunder, the evil villain who takes over. So it was a dream come true to be able to kind of piece it all together. Now back to this movie. I'm sorry for getting distracted. I'm just like so revved up from this film. You just are on the seat of your pants every second. When Leia, I thought they killed Leia, I was like, oh God, no. And everyone's like, oh. And then she uses her force power, because she is the sister of Luke, to summon herself back into the ship. Awesomeness, I bowed to that awesomeness. It was so cool. I mean, every little cool detail and scene that they thought of in the fight sequence and the choreography, badass. I mean, guys, am I forgetting anything else?
Yes.
I mean, tell me something.
You're forgetting one thing.
This is my special guest.
Don't forget.
Christina.
Listen, if you don't know anything about Star Wars, and I love everything he says, I couldn't agree with more. I'm still shaking.
We're shaking
on so many levels, and the spoilers, you've heard them. But there's a lot of cute animals too.
Oh,
if you just like kitten videos, go see Star Wars.
That's right.
There are so many cute animals. You get so many and you're like tearing up, and Chewie becomes a vegetarian practically.
That's right. That's right.
One of the birds.
He felt guilty.
Like, yeah.
He's vegan now.
He does not eat birds anymore. He basically, the vegans got their message across in this. Anyway.
Exactly. Very good point. Thank you so much.
Wrap it up.
Christina, also, thank you. Exactly. My oldest friend from childhood. Oh my God. She's totally right. If you guys want cute, they have a lot of it in here. They have a lot of it in here. A lot. So listen, kids will love it. Adults are going to go crazy. Bring a tissue box. Be prepared to cry your eyes out for so many emotional sequences, so many scenes. Guys, please post your comments below. Do you like the end? Because this kills me. I understand as a movie onto itself that Luke, oh God, he had to project himself and use up the end of his force power, and then he became one with the force peacefully, just like Obi-Wan, just like Yoda, and passed away into the force as his cloak flies off into the sunset. A beautiful end to the character. I feel too soon. I feel unnecessarily. He didn't have to do it, but I understand why they did it, to get the emotion so he could come back to help Rey, the new star of the series, as a Force ghost. Obviously, that's with the direction that they're going. And I think once he had peace and he understood, okay, Rey's going to continue the rebellion, everybody is safe, now he can let go finally. Heartbreaking, because Luke Skywalker, including Han Solo from the previous film, had been alive in our hearts and minds for 40 years. You know what I mean? So to have these characters officially knocked off in the film breaks my heart. I hate that they did that. You know what I'm saying? But, excuse me, at least here, I guess I understand it. I guess it makes sense. But please post your comments below. I wish they would have just kept him alive and had him be like a spiritual force power. And one awesome scene that I wish they did is that they had him come forward, and he doesn't have a lightsaber, and he uses like that kind of lightning power that, like, let's say the Emperor had, right? But he's still Jedi, and he controls it into an electric lightning saber with his hands, with no saber necessary, just his hands become the saber, and he fights with that. That would have been awesome. But of course, that's why I write comic books, and I hope I'll put something as cool one day, if I'm lucky enough, into my future comic books. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you to all the wonderful Star Wars fans. When Luke appeared finally and he was gonna fight Kylo Ren and he does that Matrix slide back, I freaking jumped out of my seat cheering. I was like, yes! And people behind me were like patting me on the shoulder and high-fiving me. I was so excited. Oh my God, guys, that was my favorite scene, when he had the showdown with Rey. I'm sorry, with Kylo Ren, excuse me, and Rey escaped. Just amazing. So guys, please make sure to subscribe, post your comments below, check out the other videos, and let me know your favorite scene. This is comic book artist, writer, director Greg Weick from BeyondComics.tv. Don't forget to enter the contest if you go to the website, follow us on social media, and then maybe you'll be drawn in our next comic book. As they say in comic books, thanks for watching, to be continued.